Okay, I think we're finally up and running. Wow, that was a bit of a mission. Guys, please let me know if you can hear me. I think you can. Hear, see me? Sorry, I had some major technical difficulties early this morning, which is not the way we want to start the stream at all. But here we are. It looks like we've finally made it. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, awesome, you can. Awesome, we're working. We're working. That was fun to try and work out. Oh, how else would you want to start a Friday, hey? With a bit of technical difficulties. It's good to see you guys. How are we doing? How's your trading week been? I hope you've all finished in profits, but if you haven't finished in profits, I hope you've managed your risk accordingly and you're expected. You haven't outreached or lost any more than you should have. That's what I'm hoping right now. How is everyone? How's everyone's trading weeks? Hey, Six String, Coog, Opposite. Good to see you all. Thank you for tuning in. We will get into everything we want to discuss today in a moment. We'll just give it a little while to let some people come in, even though stream just absolutely bugged for me. But hopefully it won't be too long until the usual crowd come in. So tell me about your week. How's your trading week been? Not too bad. Baby steps? What do you mean by baby steps? What have you been doing? What are these baby steps you speak of? I've had a pretty good trading week this week. I haven't traded too much, but I had a nice position on US dollar Japanese yen yesterday, which I want to run you through. Hi, Anna. How are you going? Welcome. I love the enthusiasm. Great to see you, Anna. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're well. Yeah, so I had like one trade this week on US dollar Japanese yen, which I managed really well. I actually recorded the whole thing of that trade. So I was going to send it in the Discord. Discord has a max file size in which you can send through, so I can't exactly send that. But I did create a whole video before the trade, like sharing my analysis as I entered the trade, as I scaled into the trade, and then as I scaled out of the trade. And I recorded the whole thing so you can kind of see, as requested by Horman, you can kind of see my thought process, what was unfolding as I'm doing. And I'm hoping we're going to have a similar position today, actually in the same pair as well, which I might be able to run you through. Ah, oh, you're kidding. Your boot camp just blown. What'd you do? How'd you lose your boot camp? That's not ideal. We don't want that. What stage were you on? Alright, so I think to start us off, I'll run you through that position I took yesterday, and then we'll speak about. Actually, I'll run you through this position now, like a potential trade we're going to have any minute now, maybe. I've got an order set, so we're going to keep an eye on it, on what's going to happen now. I'm a little bit nervous about this position, and I'm going to run you through that literally right now. Okay, so let's jump over to the chart here on US dollar Japanese yen. You know what? In theory, I realistically should put me over here, right? That's probably better. You can see the whole chart. Agreed? Okay, let's all collectively agree that that was a good idea. So as a whole, US dollar Japanese yen right now, I am gonna look to go long. Why am I gonna look to go long? Because I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking to fade volatility. Here's the thing. I'm doing low risk on this position, right? Ideally, I should probably be staying out of this. I should be staying out of this. But the opportunity is there and is quite strong. So I'm sitting in this fluctuating move of realistically, I shouldn't be trading this. But at the same time, I should be trading this. So we're sitting like it's not definitive that yes, this is a great trade. I do believe I have a bit of an edge on the market and I can get the odds in my favor, which is why I want to trade it. The only thing that's telling me, hey, be a little bit careful is the fact that we've got a lot of Japanese yen news due over the next hour. Okay. We've got the CPI, the unemployment, the industrial production and retail sales all over the next hour on the Japanese yen. That's the only thing telling me, hey, maybe you shouldn't trade this. Now, I've got bias bullish for all of that data, which is against the way I want to trade. which is the reason I'm like, the edge is slowly like, I'm losing those odds. Those odds are coming against me now. So I'm trying to find a way really to pull those odds in potentially, and get that back into my favor. But the whole idea of this is to fade the morning volatility. You guys should know by now, we've traded it for the last few weeks. I love to fade the morning volatility. In the first 4 hours of the Asian session, we don't move much. Don't trade Mondays. We don't move much for that, okay? So other than Mondays we do because it's the market opens over the weekend. There's a lot of money that floods into the market. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. For some reason, I messed up my week there. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we run pretty smoothly in having less volatility in the first 4 hours of the session. In those first 4 hours, what I love to do is fade big moves, okay? Missed an opportunity to fade this big move, however, I wouldn't have taken it anyway because there was nothing really crucial in that to give me an indication to fade that, okay? What I'm looking for is a break down yesterday's low. So that is yesterday's low right here. As you can see, yesterday we moved extraordinarily throughout the whole day. Ended up being quite a large move throughout the day. What are we looking at? We're looking at 237 pips in one day. Okay. I am looking to see if we can just break below the low set of the day, which was right here. If we can, we've already overextended our first 4 hours of trading to 41.7 pips. The average for the US dollar Japanese yen over the past, what was the data? Maybe 2 months I pulled. The average move per the first 4 hours was about 44 pips. Around 44 pips, right? That was like the maximum it did in the first 4 hours of the trading session. What we can see here is we've already moved to the top side, 39.7. If we can pop below this, we're looking at 42 pips. We're looking at 42 pips, okay, which is around almost perfectly on the average that we do move in these Asian sessions. Now, we do have a bit of volatility in the market. We do have some news, so we can go a little bit further, which is why if I am going to get in this position, my stops are going to be a little bit bigger than what I usually do. Looking at probably about 30 pip stop for a 20 pip take profit, okay? But as a whole, what I'm looking to do is to pop below this area where we're going to have heaps of sell orders, just below yesterday's low of the day. Look for a liquidity grab and then pull it back in for 20 pips. Now, it may go against me and I will slowly add to the position as it does until we hit my overall stop loss. Hopefully it doesn't, but I'm looking to pull in, pull up a couple positions, and then pull out around up here. Okay, that's ideally what my position today is going to look like. As I mentioned, don't love the fact that we've got news due. Other than that, I like this trade. So I do think the odds are in my favor. I do think my edge is prominent. I do think there's less volatility. I am nervous about all of the news due, and that's removing a bit of my edge. So I'm not going full risk on this position. Honestly, if this ends up losing, I'm probably gonna be upset at myself for trading it. But I still believe I have the edge, so I'm still gonna have a look. Shouldn't we wait for a retest of the top? Where are you talking about? A retest of the top of what? What's your position you're looking for here, one? But realistically, that's a trade. I had a very, very similar trade. Believe it or not, yesterday early morning, I actually made money, a full lot worth of a full risk, 1R, buying this. That's right. I made money buying that. I'll run you through what that trade was shortly, and I can show you my order history as well, as you can see exactly where I got in and where I got out. But I'll run you through that once we have dissected this position, which I'm hoping to get. 134.533. Okay, well, why would you want a retest up here before we buy in down here? So if I'm looking to add my positions around here and here to go long, why are you waiting for a retest up here? Like, I'm just asking that as a question. I understand if we were going short, fair enough. But I'm looking to take this long. Now, as I said, the only thing I'm worried about is the data, and it's expected to be positive data for the Japanese yen. Now, this little pump up early morning might give us an incentive that someone knows something we don't, and we might get some surprise negative data. If we do get some surprise negative data, I'm more than happy for that to happen, but let's make sure the price gets down here before that happens. Yes, that's correct. I'm buying it. Yeah. So this blue line, this blue curved line right here is my ideal price action of what I want. Okay, around. Okay, this bottom is my stop loss. No, that's okay. So I'm looking to pop in below yesterday's low of the day, fill our first part of the position, about 0.33% risk, 0.33% R, not overall risk. 0.33% R, and then if we can get down here, I'll add another 0.33. I'd usually look to add another 0.33, but I'm not going to today because I'm not massively confident in the position. My edge is still there, but I'm not overly, convinced. And then I'm going to look to pull it back up to around these prices. And now if we can get out around these prices, maybe a little bit lower, if I can scale out, I'll scale out. But that's the whole idea. Now, these positions compared to what you usually see in trading, when I am trading this strategy, guys, this is a micromanaged strategy. It is paramount that with trades like this, when fading little areas, when fading Asian session, that it is micromanaged. Now, although a lot of people stand out there and be like, don't micromanage your positions, let it set and forget, let it run. These positions need to be micromanaged. So unless you're really comfortable micromanaging your positions, you know when to start scaling out, you know when to scale in, and you know when to cut the position as a whole. Don't recommend trying to fade volatility or volume in these times. Okay. Quick coffee break. Okay. So I've actually already set an order, just a small order, 0.15 lots on MetaTrader 5. So what I can actually do is undock this, and I can show you over on MetaTrader 5 here. I'm hoping that quality isn't what it's showing me. I'm hoping you can actually see that pretty clearly. We've got our order set just below the low of the day yesterday, like right on that pin. And we're going to look to see if we can get up there. Now, other positions today, there were a few. I've just completely closed that, didn't I? Did. There were a few other positions I was looking at today, and one of them is New Zealand dollar, US dollar, which is already proving that it might work out. Okay. As you can see, another situation, we're popping up above the high of the day. Pips, we've already moved, looking at 12 pips. Now, New Zealand dollar, US dollar is a little bit different to what we usually see. I've already set this up. Have a look at that. So now it counts the first 4 hours volume already for me. So 16 pips, 23 pips, 10 pips. Mondays don't count. 15 pips. You can see my previous analysis worked out quite well. 15 pips, 13 pips, 22 pips on volatile day, 13 pips. Okay, very low. We're sitting around that 12, 13 pips. What have we already gone? About 12 or 13 pips, correct? 12.6 pips. So this is looking like a banging opportunity to fade because we've already done the average move and we're popping above that high of the day. So what I'm actually going to do is look to get in here as we pop up over that area. Let's see if we can get in a position. We haven't quite gotten over the top yet, but if we manage to get up above this, I'm going to look to start fading this down. Once again, fading the early morning volatility, not seeing any... Actually, that's a good point. I don't actually have it set to show me any New Zealand dollar news. Let's have a look. Now we're in the clear for any news. So New Zealand dollar is looking actually a little bit better than what we are on Japanese yen. Very similar setup. I'll look to fade. I'm going to look for maybe a 15 pip stop loss, something like that, just because it's very rare that New Zealand US dollar early morning can go actually like 30 pips or 40 pips in the first 4 hours. So I'll look for about a 15 pip stop loss and see if we can find an area in there. But there we go. We've got 2 trade opportunities right out of the gates. Right out of the gates. If anyone has any questions about this at any point in time, please just ask. It's what I'm here for. But these are my early morning positions, okay? I'm looking to short New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I'm looking to buy US dollar, Japanese yen. If they trigger our entry points. This got close, but it's not quite broke the high of the day yesterday, and US dollar, Japanese yen's kind of just sitting around right now. This probably won't move until we get them. I love your 5%ers course so far. I'm definitely going to join. Oh, thanks, Emmanuel. I appreciate it. Which course are you going? Like our risk management course? Which one? We've got a couple of different options that are through there. Obviously, we don't teach people to trade, but we try to teach people how to level up their trading. We don't want to teach people to trade. What happened to the US GDP news? The impact was not that much as was anticipated. Yes, so the GDP. This is the interesting thing, right? Because it missed expectations by a fair bit, but was still an improvement from where they were at, and that's the interesting thing, because it was like, oh, we missed expectations. This is really bad, but then it was like, oh well, it is still better. So we kind of had that mixed incentive, and then because we had such large movements already earlier on, I think it was a preconceived move. Like most people that wanted to trade that were already in the market, so there wasn't a whole lot of buying power coming into that episode, I like to call it. But yeah, there was a bit of a move, but I think there was a bit of a misconception in what people actually valued that, because it was bad news. But it was an improvement. It just wasn't as big as an improvement that people wanted. Risk management, teaching trading would be awesome. Yeah, the risk management. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Is that the webinar by any chance, or is that the course on the website? No, yeah, we're not going to teach trading. I don't think we're ever going to do that. The reason we don't teach trading is because we're a diversified firm. Should I say that? We actually make more money from being more diverse, which is why we open the opportunity for so many traders to come in and get involved. Is we need diversification. We need everyone trading their own styles. It works better, much better. It's like it's like building a stock portfolio. You want to be diverse. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. You're fading a potential morning move higher. Do you have a longer term bias? No. No, I don't. New Zealand dollar, I always correlate well with the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar, I'm thinking about buying, but with China, they can't make their mind up with what they want to do with COVID, and China being the biggest trade partner with the Aussie dollar, that looks bad on us. I say us because I'm Australian. So no, it's not great for that. But longer term bias is kind of mixed. I don't really have one, if I'm completely honest. I'm a little bit open to interpretation on longer term bias. What I'm solely looking at right now is a trade that's going to take me about an hour, maybe less than an hour. Just fading the morning move. As a whole, I don't have a great bias on the New Zealand dollar. Awesome website, awesome. My Forex funds makes much more money from people losing their challenges. You wonder if no, we're not. No, we're not. No, we make majority of our money through profit sharing, which is why our profit sharing is only like 50% compared to our competitors. It's because that is actually our income. That's where our money comes into play. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying the course and being a part of it. Good to see. Okay. There are two trades that we're looking at, all right? I'll keep you guys updated if we manage to pull anything in or if we get a position. And we'll watch the Japanese yen unfold as we get the unemployment data come through in a little bit as well. Sometimes I notice, especially with Forex Factories, sometimes these Japanese yen pairs are yellow folded when they actually should be a little bit higher than a yellow folder, so keep an eye on that. What happened with the freestyle thing, Jordan? Freestyle got terminated, or at least pulled back to the drawing board. The reason it got pulled back to the drawing board is we had a lot of traders manipulating the program. They were managing to pass the program really quickly, getting on a live account and then opening like $1.5 to $2 million positions, pretty much risking the whole account in one go for a 50% chance of winning. And then if they won, they'd withdraw. If they lost, they'd be like, is what it is. Which obviously, because they're real funded accounts, when they do lose, we lose. So it was costing the firm a lot of money. So what we had to do is pull it back to the drawing board, see if we can find a way to stop, unfortunately, this small number of people who were manipulating the program, and see if we can pull it back in afterwards. Okay, New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Got a little bit of a price difference in the brokers here. I'm going to look to sell it. There we go. We're in a position on New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Okay. Sorry to interrupt what I was saying there, but yeah, that's the reality of the situation. Is we had some people who weren't nice people, ruining it for everyone else. So we unfortunately had to take action and had to put a stop on it for just a little bit. All right, this is our early morning position on New Zealand dollar, US dollar here. Okay. That's entered. I've sold the position here. I've given myself plenty of room. The reason I've given myself plenty of room here is because I will look to scale in. If we do push up a little bit higher, I'm going to look to add position and bring it back in. So you see 0.6% risk reward ratio here. So nothing great as a first entry point. There are unfortunately, Coog. There's always a few bad apples that ruin it for everyone else. So we pulled it back to see if we can try and filter out those bad apples, while still obviously maintaining fairness and everything for all the other traders, because that's paramount. It's really important to us that everyone gets an equal and fair shot. And the more traders we get in, the better, because it helps us, but not when they're just being ridiculous and blowing accounts, because it costs us a lot of money. Okay, so first trade's in, looking to scale in as it moves against us, hopefully. If it does, I'm going to look to maybe add a position here. Our stop loss is so wide, like we've got 30 pips, and as you can see by the average we ran through before, we don't usually go that far. So we'll keep an eye on it as it moves, but it looks like it's just going to go straight into our direction early on, which is nice. It's always nice to see something do that. But as I said, I've got a very small position in it right now because I'm looking to scale in. So if it does go hit our take profit, awesome. But also if it doesn't, quite happy to scale this in. But overall confidence level pretty good. I'm happy with the edge we have early morning. I'm happy to be, look at this as well. I'm happy to be contesting this high within, and it's where our stop is too. So really, really nice this setup. I'm quite happy with this trade, and we'll keep an eye on it as it unfolds throughout today's trading session. Have a look at the Japanese yen 225 or the Nikkei. You want to have a look at the Nikkei? What are you looking on the Nikkei? What are you looking for? Is that a negative risk to reward ratio? You must have an extremely high win rate. That is a negative risk to reward ratio, correct. So my first, as I mentioned, I scale into these positions. So my first scale in is a negative risk to reward ratio. My second scale in goes positive, and my third scale in, my final scale in, is like a 4 risk to reward ratio. So if I manage to get a full position and it goes to hit take profit, my risk to reward ratio upon finish is like 2.7 or 2.3. It's somewhere in the 2, depending on how the position unfolds and where I get out, obviously. But statistically, my risk to reward ratio sits average around like 0.98 or something like that. And then I do have a higher win rate trading this strategy. So it's all about micromanaging and finding those averages for me. But as a whole, yes, I do have, my first position is usually a negative risk to reward ratio. You're shorting the imbalance on the Nikkei. I don't trade the Nikkei, right? I don't trade the Nikkei. So as a whole, I'm not really sure. We're prior to the stock market opening up, right? The stock market in Japan opens up at 10 a.m. Same thing here in Australia, opens up at 10 a.m. So this is all kind of pre-market stuff. So until the stock market opens up, that's going to determine which way this thing is going to move. 30 seconds? Oh, you mean until, oh yeah, until the Japanese yen news? Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that actually. Thanks for reminding me there. Whoops. Appreciate that, Goo. Alright, let's see if it actually wants to move at all. See if we get any volatility come in. We'll give it a couple seconds. Sometimes can take a little bit. Spreads haven't even budged, so I'm not sure it will move much, but we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, better than forecasted CPI, that's good. Good for Japanese yen, bad for us. And then bad employment data. Okay, cool. So we're just going to sit and not move. Okay. Awesome. we're just gonna have a medium there. US dollar CAD. One says US dollar CAD. He wants me to look at US dollar CAD. I'll look at US dollar CAD. What are you looking for, my guy? What opportunity are you seeing on US dollar CAD? Run me through it. And then once we've run through this, guys, I'll run you through my trade yesterday on US dollar Japanese yen. And I'll see if I can find a way to be able to upload those videos, those short little clips. My trades through the week. Because I know, Horman, if you are here, hi. I know you did ask to see like the whole process. So I recorded the whole trade yesterday from start to finish on exactly how I was managing it and my thought process through it. So that might be interesting to show you. But we'll see as we unfold here. What do you see, One? What are you seeing on US dollar CAD? What are you looking for early Asian session? Now, we know this pair doesn't move a lot in the Asian session. Why? Because there's no reason it should. US dollar, Canadian dollar, they're asleep. They're asleep right now, right? Or at least getting close. Right? It's getting time to go to bed. So we're not going to see a whole lot of movement in these pairs usually anyway. You can see we kind of sit a range. Moved yesterday. But recently it's been a little bit more volatile. Well, I just proved myself wrong in about a matter of 2 seconds, but that's okay. Usually, if we've got a US dollar CAD or Great British Pound US dollar, something like that, no Asian session pairs, there's no volatility, there's no stocks to be basing any decisions off, bond market and stuff like that. So we don't usually get a whole lot of movement, which benefits traders like myself, because when we do get that movement, I'm able to then pull it back in or send it out, which is obviously fantastic for me to do. And what I look to do, because we want to do it on Japanese yen, we want to do it on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar here. If it breaks, it might go to the next support down. If it breaks down, what time frame are you trading? What time frame are you trading, One? Andrew, what time frame do you use? When trading this strategy, Andrew, I use the 5 minute. I use the 5 minute time frame. This strategy is primarily based off of price, not so much candles. Excuse me. I can use candles as extra confirmation. I can use candles as an incentive on power of a move. Excuse me. But it's not necessarily like I could trade this on the 1 minute, I could trade this on the 5 minute, I could trade this on the 15 minute. It doesn't matter, that it will be the same thing. This is mostly traded off of price and volume. My edge is knowing that we do not get a lot of volume in the morning, and I look to those opportunities where we do get an extra little bit of volume and then fade the absolute out of it. On the 1 hour, US dollar CAD, on the 1 hour time frame, if it breaks the next support, I don't love it. I won't lie to you, One. I understand what you see. Okay. I do understand what you're seeing here. Alright, but we've got a downward channel. Downward channel to me, the longer these channels go, the less strength they have. How many times realistically can we keep breaking lows, breaking lows, breaking lows? And a couple times we popped a high, Like, it's starting to show that while we are trending in a downward move, that we might actually be losing a bit of strength in the move. So you'll have to keep an eye on whether or not it can get down. If it can break a low there, then yeah, it might correlate well to sit around this area, that target area there. but as a whole, I'm just not sure. Like it's not something I would trade, right? But I do see where you're coming from. I wouldn't short it anytime soon after a move like this. You can see we get moves like this, and then we sit still for a little bit. We get a move like that, and then we kind of sit still a little bit slow for a little bit. So I'd wait to like maybe sit still and then break below if that's what you're looking for. It would give me more reason to get involved there. But as a whole, I understand you. I understand your outlook. I understand what you're looking for. Not something I would trade, but that's because it's my strategy. It's not my strategy, so that's why I wouldn't trade it. But I'm sure you've done your testing on it and understand it a little bit clearer than what I do. So maybe I understand the analysis. It can make sense. I don't see the edge, but I do understand your analysis. Are there a reason? Is there a reason for the Japanese yen bullish momentum? You mean like over the past day? Like you mean all of this? Is that what you're talking about, Carlos? No worries, man. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Well, most of this was actually based on the US dollar. Now, this wasn't. I'm not really sure what that is, to be honest. I had a look through, and there wasn't anything that really indicated massive for me. I think after we had the break below here, and then we got below like the low of the day a couple times, there was just a lot of short volume. Um, as a whole, there's going to be millions of people, and I mean millions. So I'm not just saying that. I mean millions of people looking to short to go long the Japanese yen, just solely off of the way it's run recently. They're going to want to bring that back in. So any kind of slight indication to allow this to get down, I think they're gonna try and get this down. So I think we're going to see a lot of ability to go short when there is volume in the market, when there is volatility. But as a whole, I know it was correlated a lot with the GDP, the US dollar GDP, and the US dollar FOMC meeting that we had, the FOMC statement. But as a whole, there wasn't anything too, at least that what I saw, too detrimental that moved that. I think it's just based purely off of volume and that US dollar news. Japanese yen, the Japanese yen's usually like a hedging pair, right? It's like the Swiss franc. It's a place you go when you're a little there's some uncertainty in the market. Let's head to the Japanese yen. Let's head to the Swiss franc. Now the Japanese yen's just been shorted like mad recently, to the point that it hasn't been able to maintain that hedging pair because it's been shorted so heavily. But a lot of people still are addicted to hedging with the Japanese yen because it's usually safe haven, right? So I think we'll see a lot of people trying to bring that back down to medium. Who knows? Who knows? There are a lot of people buying it though. That's for sure. That's for sure. But not here early morning, and that's all I care about. The yen dollar US dollar's moving. Is she moving? She moving. She doesn't move too much in the mornings, as you can clearly see. But she is moving. I'm gonna look to maybe start getting out of the position if we can get around like the 7 pips. If we can get down there, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get as low as I've originally wanted. Hmm. What do we think, guys? Maybe. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. JPYX itself blew up, so I was just curious. Yeah. What indicator do you use? I don't use an indicator. Well, right now, like this little thing right here is just checking the Asian session. It's just like you put your time in. It does all the sessions, but I turn them all off and just put the first 4 hours in. Um, yeah, you're asking this. I'm not even sure. Asian session range. It's just on TradingView. It's going to give you the range of like all the sessions. I just turn all the sessions off, turn the Asian session on, and then change the time of what the Asian session actually is, and change it in accordance to how I want to trade it here. So I just change it to the first 4 hours of the opening session, and then I just use that to quickly scan everything prior. You know, if that makes sense. Just quickly scan through what the average of what we're doing in the Asian, like when I say Asian session, I'm talking first 4 hours. I'm not talking like the 9 hours of Asian session. I'll just quickly scan through and be like, okay, what are we realistically looking at here? What are we expecting? Japanese yen, I might look to cancel my order. Looks like we're not really going to break down here anytime soon, anytime before I want to be in it anyway. So I am actually going to close that order, but it looks like New Zealand dollar, US dollar is going to move quite nicely for us. So that's okay. We didn't have one. What I'll run you through is the trade I took yesterday on US dollar Japanese yen. In this move in the Asian session, I actually made money buying. I actually made a fair bit of money buying, which was I thought was quite impressive. It's probably pretty easy for you guys to see where I made that money when it came to buying. Can anyone tell me, anyone take a random guess at where in this Asian session here I made money buying? Do you trade the US 30? No. No, I don't trade indices. I don't industry such. I build stock portfolios and I invest in stocks, but I don't trade them. And I don't trade indices. I trade FX. FX and commodities occasionally, but mostly, excuse me, mostly FX. Yeah, so as a whole, right, well, okay, nice. As a whole, yesterday I made money here. It's very similar setup, right? We had a big move because of the FOMC statement late in the day. Volatility was increased a little bit. So I was expecting a bit, just where after 9 a.m. Yeah, so just here, you are correct. You are correct, Emmanuel. That is where I made the money buying. So as a whole, same setup as what we're looking at today, okay? We broke below the low of the day. Average is usually about 44 pips in the Asian session in the first 4 hours, okay? As you can see, as we pushed down, we sat around 27, and then we went all the way down. We ended up moving about 52. I got in a little early, a little preemptively, just because I felt like it was going to be a good opportunity, considering we were breaking through 2 of the day's lows, right? Both of these. I was like, okay, we're going to have a great little fading opportunity in here somewhere. So what I actually did, let me pull up the chart for you, and I can show you my positions. Have I gone one too far? I have. So over here on MetaTrader, and I believe you guys are going to be able to see this reasonably clearly. I'm hoping anyway. Okay, I have to have that open. Never mind. Over here on MetaTrader, you can see as we moved in and pulled below these lows of the previous day, MetaTrader's charts, come on, bro. As we moved below this line, it's when I started adding to my position, okay? And as we did add to this position, as you can see here, I had 2 positions straight off the bat as we pulled in. It went up, went against us a little bit more. I then added another position. So straight away, I had room to add 1 more position, but I had about 0.7% R ready to go in this trade around this area, okay? And then we just had a nice gradual move up over about 20 minutes. Move up to the upside, and as we pulled into that medium of the Bollinger Band, we were pulling into this area, which is where it was a little bit below where I actually wanted my take profit, but we were retesting this area. I was very happy with the profit margin we'd actually been able to generate, and I took it out. I took out the trade there. So that was my trade yesterday. Very similar setup to what we were looking for today, what we're looking for in New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We had a big move. You can see how many red candles we printed on the trot here. Very out of the ordinary for an early Asian session. A lot of red candles printed. Big move, about 40 pips. Looking to fade that back in for about 20 pips. Now from the bottom candle here, I think we managed to pull in 19 pips from the bottom entry there. We could have stuck with it and gone 20 pips from there. Definitely could have and taken full profits. But I was a little skeptical with the way it was pulling back in, and I'm quite happy that I did take it out there. Yes, I could have took it out there and picked the top, but there was a slight chance that we wouldn't have actually hit my take profit, and then as you can see, it got absolutely stumped. So it was a great little trade opportunity to get in and out yesterday, which overall I was happy with that position. I was looking to replicate that this morning, but as you can see, Japanese yen has other ideas. If it managed to pop just below here, I would have. But it didn't, and it's money. But I am in New Zealand dollar, US dollar, which is trying. It's trying. We're having a bit of volatility come into it. Stock market's going to open up here in 15 minutes, so we might get a bit of movement through it. And we'll keep an eye on this. I will add a position if it does go against us up here. I'm only going to add one position on this, though. So at max, we're probably going to look at maybe 0.5R risk. I don't want to really go full risk on this position. Although, actually, no, tell a lie. Tell a lie. I might go a little bit more aggressive. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. To get up these areas early morning, if we do it over the next hour, and only if we do it over the next hour. Okay, I'm not taking any positions after 11 o'clock. Only if we get up to this level prior to my 11 a.m., which is in 1 hour and 15 minutes, am I going to look to add a position and push this down, okay? The reason that is because that's when more volatility comes into the market. When the stock market opens, they allow the stock market to chill a bit, and then people start looking in the FX market, and then everything starts to wake up. So I'm not adding any positions. I'll manage a position after 11 a.m. I'm not taking any more positions after 11 a.m. I'm going to sit still and see how that travels. Does anyone have any questions? One position again today. I do look for more. I looked across the other charts. There wasn't anything like yelling out to me. Nothing near breaking any higher lows of the days. Great British Pound, Aussie dollar's moving. So I'm assuming the Aussie dollar might be moving. Or is that pound? Aussie dollar's moving this morning. What setting do I have my MT5 Bollinger Bands? They're just the normal setting, I believe. Oh no, it's a period of 20, a deviation of 2. I don't really trade using them. I prefer the thing on the bottom here, the Bollinger Band width, right? It measures the width of the Bollinger Band. I think that's much more important. But I don't base trading decisions off that. I just use that to help me get some extra odds in my corner, so to speak. That's a good little trick. For you guys that have never used Bollinger Bands before, the Bollinger Band down the bottom here, managing the width, what you'll notice is you can draw a line along the bottom, and you can draw a line along the top, or at least around the top. And what you'll notice is as we get these Bollinger Bands get around the top, we can see turning points. As we get around the bottom, you can see breakout points, okay? So as we get really low down the bottom and then we have a breakout and the Bollinger Bands start opening again, you can see that it actually moves quite well in that direction. So it's actually a good little momentum opportunity. As we get really slow, wherever it might be really slow, and then we open up again, you can see you can trade that in the direction. It gets really slow below the red line here, and then it opens up, and we can trade in that direction. We get really slow, and then it opens up, we can trade in that direction. Good little. Don't base your strategy off of that, but it's a good little thing to add to your trading book if you are into trading Bollinger Bands and stuff like that. Not crazy about it, but what's your take on Aussie US dollar? Yeah, same thing. Same thing with New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Okay, I like the idea of buying the Aussie dollar. It's getting dragged down by China, and if it's getting dragged down by China, then no one else is going to be buying the Aussie dollar, so I don't want to buy the Aussie dollar. That's my issue. That's my issue with it. But I do like the idea of investing in the Aussie dollar right now. But inflation's at an all-time high. Well, I don't know if it's an all-time high, but at least a high in a long time. You can see how much uncertainty is in the market. Because look, like we've kind of been trending, right? We've been moving. And then here it's just like, what? Just like, what? I think a lot of people are on the same page as me. They're just a little bit like, I like the Aussie dollar. I like buying the Aussie dollar, but I'm just not sure. I think that's what most people are struggling with, like me right now. And as you said you're not crazy about it. But what's your take on it? What are you not crazy about? Everyone's kind of sitting here going like, we could, we could buy the Aussie dollar, and I'd be all for it. I wouldn't risk a lot, but I'll kind of be like, yeah, you know what, I like the idea of it. But it's not like grabbing anyone's attention. It's not making which could end up being a great opportunity because not everyone's seen it, and if you wait for everyone to see it, then it might be a little bit different. But yeah, a bit like that at the moment. What's your take on it, Carlos? Excuse me. Getting thirsty. You talk so much. It failed to break small 4-hour supply zone twice, so you'd like to short it. But you know it's trending up as we speak. Okay, interesting. So different outlook. Different outlook. And I'm assuming that's purely based off of technical analysis. Hmm. Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because my overall bias, as I mentioned, is to go long Aussie dollar, but I don't love it. I do not love it. I'm just looking at New Zealand. Let's short the hell out of New Zealand dollar, eh? Stock market's going to open up here in about 9 minutes. New Zealand stock market opens, and actually, I need to put in an order for a few shares from a company on the ASX, adding to the stock portfolio today. Portfolio is building up. It is building up. I bought Megaport. Willing to share my portfolio with you guys. I bought Megaport the other day. When I say the other day, it's like the other week. I bought it at 610. And as you can see, oh there you go, 660 it was. 661. I bought Megaport last week, and as you can see, I picked quite the entry point in buying into this. No hey Pantala. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is that English? I'm not sure. Is that do I need to Google Translate that? No screen. No screen? You can't see my screen? Can everyone else see my screen? No hey Pantala means no screen. Question mark. But I think everyone else can see my screen, right? Have I been streaming this? Yeah, no, you can. Yeah, okay, good. I was gonna say, have I been streaming this past hour with without you being able to see my screen? No, okay, all good. Yeah, Megaport I added to my stock portfolio a little while ago. It's a cloud services company. It's been shorted heavily because it wasn't quite profitable, and as it's not profitable, a lot of people are looking to go risk off with a recession looming potentially. So they short the hell out of companies like this. I think it's extremely value priced at 660, so I went ahead and got in. He said no screen block. There's definitely a screen. Yeah, but sorry mate, but there is a screen. Um, I looked at got in. I got in at filled at 660. I did want to get a better fill, but the banking didn't allow me to do that. So I got a pretty poor fill at 660. We're up to 930. We closed at 930 yesterday, which is awesome because we're up almost 50% in what, a week. And we're going to open up again in about 6 minutes. So we'll see. Ideal fair value pricing. I'm looking up for like the $18 mark for fair value pricing. So I'm realistically from here, not even from 660. I'm looking to see if I can grab 175% from this. We'll see. We'll see. You know, stock market investing is always a fun one. We'll see what it can do. I also bought into Qantas. I got filled at Qantas at 447. So I'm only just in profits, but a little bit. I'm about 2.8% up. We got this area. If we can get through this area, look at this huge gap. I reckon we fill that pretty quick if we manage to get up here. I bought Qantas because I just like Qantas. I just like Qantas. We're not back in profits after COVID yet. You know, Qantas is a big airline. We're not back into profits because of COVID just yet. I'm expecting maybe mid 2023 we'll get back to full profits, or at least in that area. So this is a long-term hold, but I like the company. I've flown with Qantas thousands of times. I think they're an absolute amazing company. I don't think they're going to be affected too hard by a recession if one does come through, because most of the people that fly with Qantas are your business class, your first class. Everyone like that. That's where majority of their profit margins come in. So I'm not too worried about the lower class losing some money in terms of as an investment, because I don't think, you know, Qantas is a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Expensive, right? It's expensive. Qantas is expensive compared to other airlines. You can go to like Qatar Airways or Singapore Airlines or anything like that, much cheaper than what you can through Qantas. So I think like most people that are going to be hurt by the recession and stuff like that, they weren't the ones really flying Qantas prior to that anyway. So I do think we'll still get a lot of money flooding into this business, and I like the business as a whole. That's why I invested in there. They haven't recovered from their COVID shutdown yet. Fair value up at like maybe $6.50, maybe $5. So we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. I added that to the portfolio today. And then today I want to add, why have I already forget? EPL? No. I've already, I've already forgot what my order, BLD. There you go, borrow. Borrow today is being added to my portfolio. I'm going to see what feel I can get on it. It's a mining resource here in Australia. Yes, I trade the Asian session. I have a trade open right now in New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I'm just quickly sharing some information on my stock portfolio if anyone was interested in trading the ASX. That's what I'm currently looking at. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Let's get back to the trade, shall we? Okay, so we popped up again a little bit. All right, so this is going to be the area where I'm going to start looking to see if we can add a position. Not just yet. I want to get a little bit higher. Where's going to be a good spot, you reckon? 630 might be. I like 630. Just below that. I do. I like that area. If it allows us without just getting completely shorted. If it allows us, I do like the area of adding a position here. So I'll just add a little bit text. Add position. Yeah. Alright, just to give you guys a bit of a reference of where we're at. I'm in a position, I'm looking at a small risk reward ratio. Now, as I mentioned, my second position has a better one. As you can see, if I were to short here, my risk to reward ratio on that position would now be 1.66. So collectively, we're starting getting to a flat risk to reward ratio, even though I got in early. And that's the power of scaling in. Okay. So whoever it was asked earlier, you must have a really high win rate. I'm not a set and forget trader. I'm a micromanaged. I mentioned it all day. I'm a micromanaged trader on this trading strategy, which is required, in my opinion anyway. And that's what I'm looking to do here. So I can get a positive and a really good risk to reward ratio at the end of the trade, as long as it does go against me a little bit, which I do normally expect to happen in the early session. But we'll see. We'll see. It's just kind of floating around right now. I'll give it a little bit. I'm going to wait till the stock market opens up here, and we're going to see how it travels. One of my favorite pairs. I don't really have a favorite pair, to be honest. Or if I do, it kind of ranges. But favoriting pairs, Look, anything with an Asian session pair in it, if I'm trading the Asian session, I want some volume in there. I usually understand the Aussie dollar a lot better than anywhere else because I'm surrounded by the Aussie dollar. I use it every day. All my savings accounts are in Aussie dollar, so I usually like trading that as I can get a pretty good bias of what's going on. But as a whole, yeah, is that Bollinger Band width in MT5? Not sure. I may have downloaded it. Let me have a look here. It'll be in indicators, right? No, I downloaded it. Okay, so you'll be able to get it off of like, oh, I've got no idea where I would have downloaded that from. Um, it might be on the MetaTrader 5 store. It was free. It was definitely free. I haven't paid for it, so yeah, it might be around there somewhere. Sorry, that's not much help, but I did. That's an external download. No, I didn't think about that. US dollar, Japanese yen making the double top on the 5 minute. Almost. Not convinced. I would ideally like to be up here somewhere, maybe testing up this area. But I see where you're coming from. Now it's getting shorted. Well, at 9:50 we had news, didn't we? Whoa, okay. Industrial production is absolutely smashed it. Look at that. That's going to bring it right the way back in. You're not seeing it? Yeah, if you're not seeing it, it means you'll have to give it a Google and download it. It's going to be an external one that I've downloaded. Sorry, I'll have a look to see if I can find out where I downloaded it from. That was it's been like years. But yeah, you might have to have a look on the MetaTrader market or have a Google. Yeah, industrial production absolutely smashed the forecast. That from down 7.5% to up 8.9%. That's huge. That is huge, which is why we're getting a bit of push to the downside here in the Japanese yen. But will it sustain? I don't know. Stock market has officially opened. It takes a little while for everything to kind of coincide with that. But let's have a look at how our position's doing. A bit of volume's going to come in. We don't actually get real volume data, but just for the sake of it, whoops. Let's get rid of the VWAP. Don't want the VWAP. You see the volume starts kicking up a little bit as the stock market opens. We'll see where we can get. I'll stay live for an extra 10 minutes today, and we'll just we'll manage this position accordingly. But I'm not going to be live for too much longer. So if you do have any questions or you do want to have a topic you want to chat about, now's the time to start bringing it up before I do set sail. But this is our one position today. One position. Still could potentially look to get in the Japanese yen. Oh, we could. Getting late in the day though. It is getting late in the day. Could still look to buy it under this level. Okay, keep an eye on it. We could still look to buy something like this. This is what I'd be thinking. What I'd be thinking is first entry there. Is the freestyle account banned? The freestyle accounts are closed. Yeah, they're closed. Do you only trade the Aussie Open or throughout the other sessions as well? I prefer to trade early Asian session. I can trade, and I do like the volatility of the later sessions. Like, obviously, more volatility, the quicker things move, the more fun it can be in that sense. I feel most comfortable in the Asian session, to be honest. I understand it a little bit better. I think my edge lies in the Asian session. I know a lot of people fluctuate to the bigger sessions. The only time realistically I'm trading the bigger sessions is when I'm trading the news. Other than that, I'd prefer to stay in my Asian session comforts. I think that's where my edge lies. So most of the time, I'm trading the Aussie Open. I'm trading literally the first, skip the first hour. I'm probably trading 3 hours after that in the morning, here in the morning anyway. Majority of the time. Oof, where would you recommend beginners start learning to trade? Oh, wow, that's a big question. It's tough, right? Because I want to direct you to YouTube books, everything like that, but then you'll get caught up in some educator that doesn't really trade, and then it's going to be a little bit messy. So it's quite hard to find authentic, good educators, good traders. If you do get to the point, and I do recommend you do it at some point, where you join a community or join a trading course or anything like that, verify that your educator knows what he's talking about. Ask to see some kind of evidence of long-term performance or something like that. Not a Lamborghini, not a nice car, not a nice house. No, like trading wise, ask to see. You don't need to see, 5%. You don't need to 5%ers. You don't need to see his bank statement, but he can hide his personal account balance, but still just show some kind of consistency in decision making and that type of stuff. Don't fall for all the marketing tricks that are out there in the market, but that's where your best bet is to actually learn to trade is going to somewhere that's going to teach you. Babypips.com. Babypips.com do a great little analogy on what is Forex trading and everything like that. If you want to get a better understanding on leverage, margin, how to trade it all accordingly, babypips.com. But I'm not sure. It's quite hard. We do have nice courses, but we don't teach people how to trade. We teach people how to advance their trading. And that's the difference. Watch the old Mark Douglas videos for trader psychology. There you go. There's one from Coog for trader psychology, Mark Douglas videos. You had a great experience with Apiary Fund when I started. I'm not sure with Apiary Fund. I don't know who they are. Any future plans for 5%ers will add cryptocurrencies in trading options assets? I think so. I think we're working on it. I'm not sure how quickly that's going to come about, but I do believe we are looking to extend. Obviously, we've only just brought indices into it. We want to bring some more commodities into it too. We've got gold and silver, but see if we can bring some more. We might bring crypto in it. We might. It depends. It depends. If we do bring crypto, I don't think there'll be much leverage capability within it because, well, crypto market moves so rapidly anyway. Running risk management on a crypto asset is an absolute headache, just because of how much they move by themselves. So we'll see, but I know there are a few people at the firm that want it, and I know there are a few people at the firm, like internally at the firm, that also want it and are trying to bring it. But I won't be able to tell you any dates, won't be able to tell you if it's going to happen. I don't know. But I do know there's chatter about it. There is chatter about it. Always looking to expand assets. Always looking to expand assets. More assets, more traders, more diversification, better profit margins. At least less risk. All right, stock market's opened up. I'm assuming New Zealand stock market's kind of gone down a little bit. Usually the currencies go against the way that you'd expect it to. Japanese yen's doing its thing. Going back to whoever asked about the Nikkei earlier on. Absolutely stumped on the open. Yeah. In the Balkans, it's 2 in the morning. Whew. What are you doing up at 2 in the morning? What are you doing? Staying up till 2 in the morning to trade the Asian session? You, my friend, might be one of the very, very few that do that. You might be one of the. Is that a common thing? Do many people stay up late to trade the Asian session? Is there just a common persona that the session that you're in yourself isn't good enough? Like, because I know so many people in the APAC region, they stay up late to trade the New York, they trade the New York session, they trade the Great British Pound, the London session, and everything like that. Which is fair enough. There's more volatility. Do people do it the other way around? Is that a thing? Good morning, Safe. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Cold here this morning. Oh, let's stay up late to trade to London. Open away it's around 3 or 4 a.m. for me. Okay. London is 1 a.m. for you. You're up, but the Asian session is looking crap. Well, the Asian session's always looking crap, Dankle. Asian session's always crap. And that's what we love about it. That's where the edge is. The Asian session looks crap. It gets rid of the shit money. And it's easy money for the rest of us. That low volatility market is my edge. I love that low volatility market. Just depends on how you look at it, my guy. I think it's worth getting up for London and New York, but Asian session, nah. Fair enough. I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if a lot of people who can access those markets do get up early or get up late to trade the Asian session. I'll be surprised. But look, the reason I fell in love with trading the Asian session is because it's during my time zone. It's currently 10 a.m. for me. I don't want to be up till 2 a.m. trading every night. Love it, but I don't want to be up to 2 a.m. Okay, I like trading, but not that much. It's just not sustainable long term. I did it. I used to trade the US stock market for about 6 months. And my working days was from like 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. And it wasn't fun. Just not fun. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, making money, sure, it's good, but it's just not fun. Brisbane time zone? No, Melbourne and Sydney. I'm in Melbourne. I am in Melbourne. Can you explain to me why gold go up, but the interest rate in US up? I really don't get it. It should be the opposite. Okay. Sorry, I was distracted by another. Can you explain to me why gold went up, but the interest rate in the US is up? Why? Okay, why do you think they should be the opposite? What's making you think that interest rates in the US going up is going to make gold go down? Where's the logic for that come around? London is 8 a.m. for me, so it works out okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, see, you like trading in the morning. Like that, I'm the same. Like this market, it's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. for me, which is why I love to trade. It works out perfectly. You say it works out okay? Well, I'm an early bird, right? I'm up and about working 6 a.m., right? Because the US gets stronger. Well, is the US getting stronger? Now I know the interest rate getting rose. Oh, Jesus, words. The interest rate going up usually indicates strong economic growth. But, Saif, what we've done is we've crossed a line. We've crossed a line where the interest rates are getting to levels where they've only got to, which equates into a recession. Okay, our interest rates have gone up to the level where the only way they come back down is when a recession hits. So the market perceptions change. Now, early days, it was yes, interest rates up, economy good, buy, or gold short, whatever it might be. Now, that was in the first, four or five rate hikes. Now we're reaching levels where people are going to go, whoa, guys, stop. And the reason people are going stop is because they know that as these interest rates get hiked, how do they come back down? Always think about how do they come back down. Investors are starting to think, the only way these are coming back down is if we have some pure economic turmoil. Realistically, we're getting to these levels. 6.1% inflation here in Australia. I believe it hit like 9% inflation in America. Those things, you have to massively hike interest rates. They hike interest rates aggressively and steeply, and when you do that, it causes economic pain, which is meant to happen. That's the whole idea of hiking interest rates. We take money away from the consumers and then bring it back down. If all the money is taken away from the consumers, there's going to be economic pain. There's going to be potential recessions. If the recession does come into play, then the interest rates will come back down. So we're reaching that level now where people are no longer like, interest rate hike, that's great for the economy. They're going, interest rate hike, we're bringing a recession. So we're sitting in that level, and that's the reason it's not getting the correlation that you're expecting there. The bulk of people stay up late. My generation stay up till 5 in the morning. I get out of bed at 6 in the morning, so that's absolutely wild to me. I think the morning's the most productive time you can be, and I like being up that way. Anyway, hope you have a good trading session, man. I'm off to sleep. No worries, Dan. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you sleep well. Good luck in the morning. I won't be up for two. Actually, yeah, I'm probably going to end it here, guys. I'm probably going to look to end it here. So I hope that made sense. No worries, no worries. I'm glad I could do that for you. Does anyone have any questions before I jump off? I have gone a little bit over time today. That's just because I was talking about this trade and seeing if we could get anywhere prior to me having to end the stream. Did you study macroeconomics or international trade? Nope. How do you know this info so well? I've been trading for coming up 7 years soon? A little over 6 years now I've been trading, and you just learn. You just learn, Emmanuel. You learn how things react. You learn from previous data. You just got to pick it up, learn, read books, listen to people, listen to the right people, ignore the other people, filter out what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. And the beauty in this, Emmanuel, in trading, there's no right answer. There's no right answer, okay? There's no... Anyone who claims that they know something is going to happen are either delusional or they have inside information, okay? It's all a matter of probability. So when I speak about these things, it's about building that probability in my corner. It's about getting all the odds in my corner. The more information I have on things like that, the better the odds favor me for when I place a bet, essentially, okay? It's like going to a roulette table in a casino and 80% of the numbers are red, and you bet red or black. You're going to bet red. 80% chance of winning. Same thing in trading. We get as much information as we possibly can. We build our odds. We build our edge. We get all of those numbers to 80%, and then we bet on red. That's what we're here for. Trading is... I hate the analogy, but I love the analogy, okay? Trading is like going to a casino. Instead of all the odds benefiting the house, we have the opportunity to bend all the odds so they benefit us. And if you do it right, you'll make a lot of money. But we're not gambling. We are gambling. We're risking, but it's probability based. Yeah, I'm crossing a line here, right? We're sitting in a medium area. I don't want anyone to misinterpret what I'm saying. But I think most of you understand. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is the plan for the trade. Remember, if we tick past 11 a.m., which is in 45 minutes, I'm not adding any more positions. I'm going to look if we can get in. If we do add the position and we come back down, I might scale out of this a little bit early because New Zealand dollar's not giving me a whole lot of confidence this morning, but we'll see how it plays out. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Get away from the charts, spend some time with your friends, spend some time with your family, reset, come back Sunday night or Monday morning, and absolutely have a fantastic trading week. If anyone needs me, I'll be accessible in the Discord throughout the week. And as always, good luck. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.